Did Horner and Verstappen just get Herbert fired? With money, prestige, and reputations on the line at every race, and drivers willing to push the rules to the absolute limit, FIA officials, the umpires of the sport, can play a huge role in deciding who wins and who loses. After all, Max Verstappen only won his first championship after Michael Masi failed to correctly apply the rules in the title decider in 2021. Now, many are wondering if Christian Horner has intervened to have erstwhile F1 driver steward Johnny Herbert removed from his role following a number of comments he made to the media about Max Verstappen's driving style in 2024. This video will start by finding out who Johnny Herbert actually is before addressing this latest controversy. Make sure to subscribe to the channel to see more exciting Formula One videos like this. So, who is Johnny Herbert? If you've only just started following Formula One, Johnny Herbert may just be an outspoken voice, best known for his work on TV with Sky Sports, or as an FIA official penalizing drivers when they cross the line in the heat of the battle. But in his younger days, back in the 1980s, Johnny was one of the rising stars of motorsport, winning titles in Formula 3, on his way to making coming fourth on his Formula One debut for Benetton in the 1989 Brazilian Grand Prix. That result was truly phenomenal, as only months before, Johnny had narrowly avoided having his feet amputated following a huge crash in a Formula 3000 race at Brands Hatch. Johnny raced for many teams across the 1990s: Benetton, Tyrrell, Lotus, Ligier, Sauber, Stewart, and Jaguar. He even found time to win the 1991 24 Hours of Le Mans as part of the Mazda Speed team. It was at Benetton where Johnny saw his greatest successes, winning 2 races in support of Michael Schumacher. And it was also the start of his rivalry with the Verstappen family. In 1994, Jos Verstappen, Max's father, was racing for Benetton, who were involved in a heated battle for the constructors' title with the Williams F1 team. With Michael Schumacher on his way to winning the F1 driver's title, his teammate wasn't scoring the points expected of him. Does that sound familiar? With the title on the line, Benetton dispensed of Jos Verstappen in favor of bringing in Johnny Herbert for the final 2 races of the 1994 season. While reliability meant that Herbert didn't finish either race, he held on to the seat into 1995, scoring 2 wins for the team. Amazingly, this wasn't the only time that Johnny Herbert replaced Jos Verstappen at a Formula One racing team. In 1998, Jos Verstappen had been racing for the Stewart F1 team, having replaced Jan Magnussen mid-season. But a series of disappointing performances meant that he was replaced for the 1999 season by none other than Johnny Herbert. Again, Johnny went on to deliver the performance of his F1 career at the 1999 European Grand Prix, winning, having qualified 14th on the grid. In truth, Johnny's career did not meet the expectations of his pre-F1 career, but his achievements still outclassed many of his peers, and he was often a sought-after driver with experience matched by few others. He retired from F1 in 2000, having earned the respect of his peers and gaining a strong reputation. Johnny Herbert became a regular fixture as a race steward in Formula One after his retirement from driving. His experience as a driver, particularly his time spent with several teams, and as someone who had competed at the highest levels of motorsport, Herbert's input was highly regarded by his fellow officials in the teams. He often brought a practical perspective to the decision-making process. His role as a steward meant that Herbert was responsible for reviewing on-track incidents, advising on penalties for drivers who breached the rules, and contributing to the overall conduct of the race weekend. His extensive knowledge of racecraft, the intricacies of F1 regulations, and his understanding of the nuances of driver behavior allowed him to bring a fair and measured approach to his duties. With great power comes great influence, and with influence comes responsibility. Johnny was never shy to give his opinion, and in 2024, with the title battle heating up on the racetrack, his comments began to get hotter off the circuit. With Verstappen's driving style gaining comments from fans, pundits, and teams alike, Herbert weighed in. Verstappen's driving style was harsh, especially when he's taking a fellow driver off the track. It's an absolute no-no from me, current drivers, former drivers, and stewards. I am such a big fan of Verstappen, and it frustrates me massively when he drives the way he did in Mexico. He doesn't need to do it. He's so good in the cockpit, and at this point in the championship, he just needs to stay out of trouble and drive as well as possible. Johnny even went as far as saying Max had a horrible mindset with these comments, and a huge 20-second time penalty being given to Max at the 2024 Mexican Grand Prix. Accusations of bias began to appear. Herbert, of course, is British, as was Max's closest title rival Lando Norris. Johnny Herbert sought to reject those accusations by saying, "I'm an opinioned pundit, but when I'm giving penalties, I'm not biased." That's easy to say, of course. In the wake of these comments and many more, Jos Verstappen began to fire back and started to openly question if his old nemesis should be a F1 driver steward. He told Dutch media, "The FIA should take a good look at the staffing of the stewards, who they put there, and whether there is no appearance of a conflict of interest." Clearly, having reviewed the comments made by Johnny Herbert, the FIA are of a similar opinion, and he'll no longer serve as steward moving forward. Was this as a result of pressure from Red Bull, Christian Horner, or the comments from Jos Verstappen himself? That cannot be proved, and Christian Horner himself has refuted any suggestion that the decision had anything to do with Max Verstappen. Well, firstly, absolutely nothing to do with Max, but absolutely the right decision. The question we'll all be asking now as we head into the 2025 season is, what impact will this change have on the 2025 title fight? Will Max get more lenient treatment? Will FIA officials play a deciding role in the victor of the championship once again? Let's keep watching. If you liked this video, make sure to subscribe to the channel to see more exciting Formula One videos like this.